number 4 for Romantic Warrior.
Rightio, welcome to Jig Racing again off the back of another week of success, thanks to one today that got the money for us at Ingle Farm. It wasn't quite the easy battle that we've had in the last couple of weeks, but as usual, Jig finds his number up there at number 1. And I welcome Jig to the show. How are we, mate?
Rocky, Butterworth, always a pleasure, mate. And, we're in the depths of winter, but we're keeping our head to get above water, Rocky.
Yep, that's all we have to do, mate. And of course our sponsorships, Garrard's Horse and Hound, horseandhound.com, 1800 Got Junk, making your junk disappear, and Bianco Reinforcing Steel Supplies, from the best in the business in South Australia. Mate, we're going to move straight into some from the trials that I've had a look at myself, so you'll be able to extend those. There's one that has been touted its last 2 or 3 preparations and never really got the job done, and that's Rise at Dawn from the Hayes camp. You've got it in your black book. Tell us about that one, mate.
Yeah, he's been an old warhorse, hasn't he? And his track work can be a little bit deceiving sometimes, Rocky, because he's always been a good track worker. But the one thing I noticed about him last preparation, for the first time in his whole career, he just didn't have that ping in his legs that he normally showed at the jump outs before heading to the races. So I thought it was encouraging work the other day. They had given him a bit of a break, and he's just that type of horse. If they could recreate him and get him in a good mode, we all know how dangerous he is and how hard he is to run down. So
yeah,
just keep him very, very safe. He's off a high rating now, as we know. But he's been a horse that we've liked to follow throughout his career.
Okay, and the other one that I've been following since you put it up, and it goes up for its second time, is one from Graham Begg, who just seems to give us one each week virtually, and that's Artisan, the 2-year-old that jumped out at Cranbourne.
I tell you what, Rocky, for the casual punter out there at the moment, it would be best to keep a very close eye on G Begg with his 2-year-olds that are turning 3.
Yep.
From this whole month of July, because more often than not, he's going to try and get a maiden win into them as a 2-year-old before they turn 3. And he's got a nice army of 2-year-olds there, including Artisan. But he's got an even nicer one in there too, Rocky, which you would have noticed as well. So the punters get on and have a look in the black book. They will notice it when it comes up.
Yep.
But it will be winning on debut, Rocky.
Okay. Now, there's a last one we want to do. It's a really interesting one. It's Prince of Portland. It was back for stacks at its first start, mate, and ran like an ant. And they tipped it straight out, and you've got it right back in your sights from the jump outs already.
Yeah, didn't mind the jump out, Rocky. I'm happy to forgive horses that fail on debut but were thrown in a hot race or were well backed on debut and then immediately tipped out, which usually tells you that something wasn't right, but they don't go to the well and find out again. They tip them out, they come back, if they jump out nicely again. You know, you've got to go into it with a little bit of caution whether you want to back them first up, but off their work alone, they certainly don't look like they've digressed. So, as you would have noticed, we've got a stack of late season 2-year-olds in our black book at the moment, and we're very much just hoping that we can get a reasonable type of a track to back them, Rocky.
Yeah. And we've said it numerous times before, all subscribers have got access to Jig's black book, and it's a fun way to punt. If he hasn't got too much for you to have a bet on and you get a bit nervous and edgy, that it's like having your next beer, go through the black book and there'll be some there from Jig that you might not have tipped on the day, but might be worth having a couple of bucks on for fun. All right, mate, we'll move on to 1-800 Got Junk with 1-800 in the bin. We've got quite a few in there, half a dozen, matter of fact, and you're going to throw in another one today, which I must say I haven't spent a lot of time on with this horse. Gilded Water, is that what it's called? Yes.
That'd be him, Rocky. And look, I don't think I'm going to get anyone offside here. I don't think the King will be tuning into our podcast this week, but he owns the horse, Rocky, His Majesty. And yeah, look, he's a very, very good horse. He, at one stage last season, he looked like he was going to be a live chance in the Melbourne Cup. And then he took hold of the rider in the Bart Cummings last year over 2,500 metres. It was a remarkable third that he ran. But I think that was the start of the end for him. I don't think he's been the same since that race. He's had 2 runs this time in. He's been heavily backed on both. He had excuses the first one. The other day, I couldn't find too many excuses for him, Rocky. I just don't think he's come back the same. Yeah. And while it's a good story to have the King's horse racing over here in Australia, and it's good for, good news stories, I don't think he's going as well this time in, Rocky, and you can't be taking a short price about him next startup. I think he's cast.
I'll tell you what, mate, they could have their own bin, the England horses that have come out here and ended up being failures after being touted as Melbourne Cup winners, Cox Plate winners. There'd be quite a few stacked up on racks in that bin. So this one can just go and join them. Now, mate.
Yeah. Well, he's a really good horse, Rocky. But the problem is with him is that they took a year for him to bring him back. He's a really hard doing horse, and Mark Zahra was a perfect jockey for him because he used to be able to stand over him. But they had a jockey change in the Bart Cummings last year. He took hold of the rider, and he just bolted from about 2,000 out. And I just think horses that have a tendency to over race in their stayers, they're only one real gut buster away from possibly ending them. And I think that's what's happened with him.
Yeah, for sure. All right, mate, we're giving away a freebie this week.
We're going to the Pakistani.
Yep.
We're heading to the Pakistani trotting track at Ballarat, Rocky, on the dirt. On the dirt there. We said that we don't want to get involved with this track, but this 2-year-old's lured us out of the barrow, Rocky. We don't mind him as a horse. He's an unraced 2-year-old for Godolphin with the McAvoys, who just rack up winners at this track. I mean, they're just dominant. And if you're going to bet blind at Ballarat, they're the trainers to follow. But I like these 2 jump outs. I think he's well found in the market now. Yeah. I think he can kick off winning at Ballarat on Thursday.
Okay. Lovely work. Last I heard about the synthetic track, mate, was that the race is going to be put back a bit because they've got to get through the camel races first and then get the real show out with the thoroughbreds after that. Now,
it's hard watching, mate. It's hard watching.
It is. Now, we've got a really quick show this week, mate, but I'm going to hand it over to you because last week I spoke to you about the website, the jig racing website, and you said you don't like to put sunset dates on these sorts of things because they always go wrong. And I hear that it's being launched as early as tomorrow, but definitely by Saturday.
That's right, Rocky. As you said, I don't like to put dates on things because they quite often blow up in your face. But I'm hoping that I can possibly even Marshall and Mel and I are working on it very hard at the moment and hoping to possibly get it up even as early as tonight. But we'll make sure it's up and going first before we announce it. But we're hoping by the end of the week, Rocky. It looks fantastic. It's really, really happy with how much work Marshall and the team of Gold Coast websites have made it look. But there's going to be 63 days for all the punters, Rocky, new and existing, to go across. I've just got it up on my laptop at the moment and it looks brilliant. So I'm sure guys like yourself and people who love using iPads and stuff when they're doing their punting and their form and whatever are really going to appreciate this one. Yeah, it looks so much better than our app, but at the same time, it's very much the same. So it's not going to take you long to navigate it. You're going to look at it and go, well, it's same, but different and better. So
Fantastic.
Very, very thankful for the guys at Gold Coast websites who do an awesome job. And
Yep.
Marshall and Mel, of course, who, let's be honest, Rocky, they're the brains behind this business. And
Yep.
I'm just a dipshit who stays in my lane and watches horse spin around 12, 14 hours a day, mate.
Everyone's important, mate. If you didn't tip winners, the website would be worth 10 cents no matter how much you spent on it. So all got our values in life, mate. And the other thing with Mel and Marshall, they still got their other business, mate, or they just kicked that to the curb and working on jig racing?
No. They've got one of them. Well, I think it's probably the biggest, best, and most successful hire place on the Gold Coast, where you can hire diggers and models and pretty much anything that a tradie might need.
Yeah.
They've got a hire place there on the Gold Coast. They work extremely hard, Rocky, and it's a really good business. It's worth a hell of a lot of money, and I'm sure they'd like to sell it if somebody came across and had enough money to offer it for them, Rocky. But in the current states of the climate there in Australia, not many people have got the sort of dollars that are required to buy that business at the minute.
Yeah. Well, I jumped on when it was under construction. I can see the outline of where it's tracking and what sort of stuff you're going to do, but I can't wait to see this thing live. Tommy Javor, did you hear that? The king of free things. 60 free days you'll be getting on Jig Racing's website, mate. So if you can't open one up tomorrow when you're sitting home doing nothing, then you'll never back a winner again in your life.
He's downloading it now.
You tell him, Rocky.
You're doing it now.
You tell him. Good. Well, yeah, as I said, obviously I'll let you know as soon as it's up, but Marshall and I, just before I got on this podcast with you, were just the final touches, and he's more or less just telling me how I can upload things from my end.
Yeah.
And we've sort of done a few dummy tests. You're going to get text messages and stuff to your phone as well, Rocky, when you get a notification.
Wow.
And you just hit that instead of just getting the notification on from your app type thing. So,
yeah. Which most people miss.
It's very punter friendly, Rocky. That was the main thing. I'm a tech idiot, absolute tech idiot. And I said to Marshall, the best foolproof way to see whether this is going to work or not is to test it on me. And if it's easy for me, it'll be easy for any other normal person, because it's certainly not my lane. And I think people will be pleasantly surprised, Rocky.
All right, good stuff, mate. So that's it today. We'll look forward to winners all through next week. But more importantly, I can't wait to chat about the website that's going to be launched by tomorrow, maybe, and then we can discuss how that looks next week. So fantastic work, mate. This is a long time in the making for you, and Jig Racing was a long time in the making, and it's 3 years. I got a notice last night. 3 years we've been doing this show together, and there's been a stack of winners in that time, and you've wanted to do more all the time, and now you've got the website. So congratulations to you, mate, on such an outstanding business that you've started here.
No, I really appreciate that, Rocky, and a big thank you to you and Dan and everyone behind the scenes who helps us give it a push along. And you've been an inaugural part of that since day one. It's one of my favourite things each week. Rocky is logging on here and having a bit of a yarn to you about something that we both heavily invested in and like to have a bit of fun with. And we hope it rubs off on the app and people sort of see that as well, because shouldn't take yourself too seriously in this game sometimes, Rocky, or you might just go around the twist. And we're trying to make this app as easy and as fun as possible for the people who get on there and give it a go.
Yep. No, good on you, mate. Love your work, and we'll catch up next week, hey?